Long intros. Welcome to the show. I am your ring general, Harry. With me, as always, is Tyson.
Let me talk to you.
And let's get into some Raw. And Monday Night Raw was a Judgment Day centered show again.
Again.
You know, when they say Raw is Judgment Day, they ain't lying. So, sure enough, they open, they being the Judgment Day. We start off with Priest, Ripley, and Balor. Right off the bat, I think I don't know if this is the first time I've noticed it, but the little black light white silhouette things that they have. Did you notice that?
They don't do it a lot, but yeah, they've done it before a couple
That's
times.
cool as fuck. That's really cool. I like that. It's a nice little effect. Priest said some shit in Spanish. Ripley said that they not only run Raw, but they run WWE. Balor just lists who's in the Judgment Day. And then they play a video package of Dominic's win over Wesley in NXT. And then they introduce Dominic for some reason. Like, I don't know why he didn't come out with them, but they introduce him.
Oh, you know why. So he can get his booze because he's new champion.
So he comes out, and I think this is the first time I've started getting Dominic. Like, he comes out, and he looks like a fucking $1 million. But then when he wrestles, he plays the chicken shit heel. So I think I'm starting to get him. And with that being said, I think I'm starting to like him. I don't like anybody else in Judgment Day.
Starting to come around on Dom.
A little bit, yeah.
And, well, I would say, that first little segment of them saying, introducing the new North American champion, and then they mentioned that he has already defended it on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. First person to do that in the same week, whatever. Already, and it's a developmental title, and it's already more prestigious, I feel, than Austin Theory's title, and it's not even been a week.
I would say it feels more prestigious than the World Heavyweight title.
Oh, you could say that, yeah.
Just because they feature it, they put more importance over it than even a Priest Money in the Bank contract. He's the centerpiece. He had his own little video package, and he came out just specifically and it's an NXT belt, by the way.
Yep.
So, but anyway, so Dominic comes out, and he gets the microphone and starts talking, and immediately the crowd boos over him. And then they play another Dominic video package. Don't know why, but they did. Me personally, I probably would have tacked that on to the first video package, but I'm not the Judgment Day. And boy, does the crowd hate Dominic. They don't let him talk at all. He has to shout to even have his normal lines heard. I don't know how he doesn't lose his voice every night.
Yeah, I would say he has an easy job because the crowd boos him out of the building, so he can't really talk anyway. But, sometimes he has to, like that time, it was like, I'm going to have to talk because I got to get my stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
So then he had to yell it.
So eventually, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out. Owens mentions how they did the exact same shit last week, meaning that the Judgment Day came out. Sami Owens and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they came out, and ultimately a match led to it. And yeah, we're getting Groundhog Day. And
Vince special.
I just want to say, just because you're aware of it doesn't make it better. like, yeah, the first step is admitting that you're an alcoholic, but if you don't proceed to the other steps, then it doesn't. You're just acknowledging that there's a problem, and you're not
Right.
addressing it. So Owens says that the Judgment Day didn't learn because, again, last week they challenged him to a match and lost. If Dom wants to help this business, he needs to shut his mouth forever, is what Kevin Owens says. And Dom says he won't be disrespected. Sammy says, "You're right. You are being disrespected, but that's just because we don't respect you." And then the crowd starts booing. The crowd was really annoying, but they boo him. So naturally, that leads to Sammy challenging Dom to a match. Dom says, "Come get some of Dirty Dom." Sammy says, last week they complained about the titles not being on the line. So when Judgment Day and Zayn and Owens, they wrestled, it was a non-title match. So he says, if you're the fighting champion that you say you are, why don't you put that North American title on the line? And then Ripley accepts for him. And that's it.
And we have the match set.
So just right off the bat, like, I get it. Priest is Puerto Rican. Can we hold off on the Spanish? Way too many video packages. I just thought that was really silly. I thought the crowd booing was nice at first, but it got really old really quick. And again, it's like, yeah, you want the crowd reaction, but at the same time, you kind of want to see what's going on. And I felt like they were borderline hampering any progression to the actual show.
I could see that.
And yeah, we're getting the same old shit.
There is a note on this whole thing. Apparently, Kevin Owens is injured. So if you're wondering why this was a one-on-one match, that's why. Kevin Owens is injured. That's why they did the. Well, that's a spoiler for later on, but
Yeah, it is.
we'll circle back to that. But that's why.
Yep. Anything else on the opening segment?
No.
All right.
Kind of formulaic, setting up what we've always see.
Yeah. And with the same people.
Yeah.
So then we have Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark. Now, if Becky Lynch wins this match, she gets a rematch with Trish Stratus. If Becky loses this match, she has to tattoo "Thank you, Trish" on her body. So since they already told me who's going to win this match, I skipped it. And naturally, Becky wins with the rock bottom.
Yes. With the manhandle slam.
Anything to add?
No, I didn't have any notes on this.
All right.
Yeah, I did not have any notes on this match.
She either wins or she has to get a tattoo. Like, why the fuck would you have a stipulation like that if you're... I don't know. Just there's no fucking way that Becky Lynch is going to get a Trish Stratus tattoo on her.
Yeah, on her chest.
Right.
Yeah, not gonna happen. I will say Zoe Stark, that was her first loss singles wise.
Was it?
Yeah, and maybe it was a little simplistic, but that's here nor there. Because it was just like one manhandle slam.
What, she needs like 4 of them?
It could have been like manhandle slam into the disarmer or something, like combined move. But then she would have had to tap out, so I guess getting pinned is a little bit better. But yeah, we knew Becky Lynch was going to win because the stipulation was so ridiculous.
Right.
That there was only one outcome.
Right. Which made it unwatchable. So moving on, we get Cody Rhodes. Cody comes out and his arm appears to be hurt again. So that just seems to be his thing. Cody turns his back to look at the crowd. He does that thing where he addresses the camera. Just excuse me while I turn my back on you. I have to enjoy this moment with the live audience. Which to me, I think that's a better catchphrase or a better whatever than, so what do you want to talk about? I think you should do that instead. So Cody naturally mentions that Lesnar whooped his ass in front of his mom. He says he's not surprised, but he's impressed. He says his mom wasn't impressed, though. He says Brock made a mistake. He left him breathing. He doesn't want to just go in and win the match now. He wants to embarrass Lesnar. He says he's not poking the bear. He's slapping it across the face and saying, come get it. He says he doesn't want to... Cody says he doesn't want to beat Lesnar any further to further his career. Or he doesn't want to beat him because Brock made it personal when he broke his arm. He wants to beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam because he deserves it. And he looks back as an old man on this chapter. He's going to remember that it wasn't pretty, but that he penned the final paragraph of the chapter. And Cody will end this. So yeah. Doesn't seem like we're getting a stipulation. Which
there's still time. There's still 1 week.
Maybe. Well, they are doing a face-to-face on Monday, but I guess we'll see. I think at this point, Cody carrying the feud on the microphone is just getting awkward. And also, it seems like Cody calls out Lesnar, and then Lesnar beats his ass.
Yeah. Calls him out, gets put in a Kimura lock.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. I guess to his defense, it is kind of hard because Brock Lesnar's not there every week. So that's really all he can do is do the promo thing.
Yeah, it's just really weird. And because he's just talking shit and he's not talking to Lesnar. He's not interacting with him. They're not going back and forth. Not that, Brock Lesnar is a back and forth type of guy, but he could at least be there. He could stand there. I don't know. So I skipped the Ricochet and Logan Paul recap. Was there anything to add?
The recap or the promo segment? Or the whole segment?
Well, I skipped that too. The promo segment's later, though.
Yeah, it was a recap into the segment. So I'll tag in here. We have another Ricochet promo, or Ricochet has a mic again. So that is...
Well, the Ricochet promo was after the Alpha Academy match.
Was it?
Yeah, they did a video package, and then they went into Sami Zayn and Dirty Dom.
Oh, no. Ricochet did a backstage thing. So
Oh, that's right. You're right.
He said he was going to say what he needed to say to Logan Paul's face. So, yeah, that sets it up for later.
So it leads us to Sami Zayn and Dirty Dom for the NXT North American Championship. So Mysterio, he debuted new purple snakeskin tassel boots that Ripley got him for winning the NXT North American Championship. I thought they looked kind of rad. I thought his theme was new. I guess they don't play it often. I don't know. Or maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
I thought it was the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're doing the NXT North American I don't know, this title defense. Do you feel like this is going to replace Seth Rollins' open challenges?
It could. We really have to see what happens.
After
Because
SummerSlam?
he's defending the title. What it's going to be tomorrow night at Great American Bash.
He can still do open challenges, though.
Well, I'm saying he might not even have it after tomorrow.
Okay.
The idea would be that he loses it tomorrow and doesn't get pinned, so they can get the title back to NXT. But they may also want to keep it on Dom because obviously he's shining a bigger light than Wes Lee is going to.
So the idea is to build up NXT by having the main roster people carrying their belts. But how does it build NXT if they defend the title on Raw and SmackDown? Because this was a good match. Spoiler, but it did not make me want to go, man, I gotta watch NXT now.
Yeah, like I said, it's more so just putting the title over on the main roster, and then when it goes back to NXT, it's just going to be out of sight, out of mind.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I guess you're getting invested in, because when he's on the show, then they're saying, "Oh, he's going to defend this," on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
The ratings are climbing up on Tuesday night, so they're doing something. It's working for them. Like they're 100,000 behind AEW. The internal note is they're trying to beat AEW, so they're like 100,000 off. So there you go.
It floors me that they're not beating AEW.
Well, I mean, it is NXT.
Oh, NXT, not okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
They're not even close to Raw and SmackDown. There's not even a competition anymore.
Okay.
It's like Alabama versus insert high school here.
And they had opportunities too.
Alabama before they get into SEC play when they're playing those high school teams and just
Alcorn
up,
State.
yeah, they're up 72-0 at halftime. And you still got Saban talking about, well, we got to watch those. It's a dangerous team.
we can't rest on our laurels going in the second half.
Yeah,
up 80-0. Got to keep our starters in.
Yeah, we got to keep our foot on the pedal.
You see Nick Saban just screaming at people.
Yeah, you got to take it serious.
Yeah. So back to the match. Early on, Priest tries to interfere, and Owens hits him off the apron. Referee sees that and kicks him out. And then Priest and Ripley are taunting Owens as he's leaving and waving goodbye. So then the ref's like, "No, you're out too." So we get a one-on-one match. And it was really good. Dominic held his own. He, instead of just doing the chicken shit stuff, he like actually wrestled like a legit competitor, which was refreshing. He had a nice little the blue thunder bomb that he turned into the Frankensteiner. And then he turned it into the 6-1. He tried to turn it into the 619, but he missed it. It was great.
Yep, nice little sequence there.
So Dom hits the Three Amigos. Zayn gets his knees up just when Dom goes for the frog splash. Zayn hits the corner exploder. Then he makes to go for the hell of a kick. And then suddenly Sammy looks to the entrance ramp and you see Priest and Ripley just toss Kevin Owens like a sack of shit. And then Dominic uses the distraction to get a roll-up victory. And you see Owens writhing in pain while Sammy looks on concerned. And then Mysterio leaves through the crowd, which was a nice little touch. And later on in the medical area, Owens is saying that they broke his ribs.
Yep. So now I can bring up the fact that Kevin Owens is real life hurt. So that is why they did that whole thing. They don't have an update on him yet, but he is going to miss some time. He's going to probably miss SummerSlam, maybe longer. Is it going to be longer?
Is he missing time? I thought he was playing it out until basically they have time.
What do you mean?
He's going to be out there basically until they don't have a story anymore.
They're going to write him off TV?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Just from what I heard, he's real life injured, so he's going to take time. So there won't be any title defenses out of them for a while.
Okay. Well, moving on, we get our weekly SmackDown recap on Raw. And then we have Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet backstage. Ricochet asks Nakamura if he's seen Logan Paul. Shinsuke says no. And Ricochet says, okay. And then he walks away. Then Tommaso Ciampa comes. He looks at Shinsuke and he says, you know, the loss is on me. And I'm willing to forgive that kick to the face. But you only get one free one. Now I'm setting some things up with Bronson Reed later. So that means I don't expect to see you out there tonight. But if I do, I know that we have a problem. So we're looking forward to a Shinsuke Nakamura and Tommaso Ciampa feud.
Which on paper could be good if they give him time to actually go and wrestle.
Sure.
What do you mean? Sure. It could be. Did you just see? First of all, Tommaso Ciampa is sports entertainment through and through. Okay. Shinsuke can put on good matches. He did it with AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
That's because they put on a good match at Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, I'm saying he can put on a good match.
I don't know. I'm not excited about it.
Well, I said if they get the proper time. I just saw NXT in this whole segment.
Okay.
I was like, oh, is this Triple H's little corner? Is this, Vince is taking over creative, and this is like, all right, this is what you get, Triple H.
All right, so we have Bronson Reed and Tommaso Ciampa. After the commercial break, Priest and Apollo Crews. Jesus. After the commercial break, Damian Priest and Apollo Crews. God, they set up a match. Apollo Crews and Damian Priest for later. Tozawa was also there. God damn. So the Bronson Reed Tommaso Ciampa match was actually pretty good. The story throughout the match was Ciampa trying to lift Reed up for his finish, and at the end of the match, he actually did lift him up and finally get it, but he only got a 3 count, which was like kind of a good moment because you knew he wasn't going to win at that point. Yeah, that's it. Then at some point, Shinsuke comes out. And Tommaso Ciampa goes immediately to confront Shinsuke, like, you don't belong out here. And then, of course, Reed takes advantage of the distraction and hits the tsunami for the win. And then Shinsuke looks on like a catty supermodel. And
the tsunami. And something I want to note here, and we might as well talk about it here. So they kept calling Bronson Reed. Well, first of all, they called him, or what was it? The braggadocious bully Big Bronson Reed. That was
Jesus,
his.
that's a lot. That's a lot of bees.
Yes, he got 4 Bs. The braggadocious bully, Big Bronson Reed. So then, I guess they settled on Big Bronson Reed as his little name. And after this came out later in the week, but apparently there's a Vince narrative or a Vince initiative or whatever word you want to call it, where he wants to give people nicknames. He wants to use nicknames for people.
So we're
So
gonna
you
get
got
like
like,
Slippin' Sami Zayn,
well, you got like Big Bronson Reed, Dirty Dom, and
kicking
those were the two
Kevin Owens,
examples.
feisty Finn Balor,
The Brawling Brutes.
dangerous Damian Priest,
Well, Seth freaking Rollins. That's another one.
little Liv Morgan.
I don't know if that's one.
Yeah, little.
It's little Jey Uso, if anything.
But yeah, the Bronson Reed and Tommaso Ciampa match was pretty good. I don't know why Vince would make it a priority to have alliteration names.
Well, I don't know. He just wants everybody to have nicknames, I guess.
That's just weird. And
And
maybe it's the UFC thing.
it could be, but the community, they're all up in arms. Oh, this is so stupid. Vince McMahon bad, Triple H good. Why does Vince have to give everybody nicknames? But we're pretending like this hasn't been a thing forever. So you've had nicknames. I don't know. As far as I can remember on Raw, there's been nicknames. There's been the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart, the British Bulldog.
The
I
Nature
don't know
Boy,
if that was
Buddy
a nickname.
Rogers,
The Nature Boy, Ric Flair as well.
George the Animal Steel,
Yes.
Macho Man Randy Savage,
Yes.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat,
What?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
What? Like, yeah, we're acting like this is a new thing, but
Right.
this is as old as Raw, and probably even before that. Superstar Billy Graham, before my time, but he had a name.
Yep.
Like, this is not new, so I don't know why people are throwing up a fit for it.
I mean, I guess the only thing you can throw a fit over is that it kind of sounds dumb, but
Big Daddy Cool, Diesel,
yeah.
the bad guy, Razor Ramon.
Yep.
Let us know in the comments who your favorite nickname guy is, or what your favorite nickname is.
Bret the Hitman.
Yeah, the Black Heart, Owen Hart.
Yeah, that works too.
The Lethal Weapon. The Most Dangerous Man, Ken Shamrock. Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry.
The Retard Eugene.
Well, they didn't call him that, but it was assumed. Mrs. Foley's baby boy. And that would be Mick Foley. The Viper, Randy Orton. Like, these names have been around forever.
Dashing Cody Rhodes.
The Rated R Superstar, Edge.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if this is the most involvement that Vince is going to do, I think that's okay. I don't think there's really anything to get upset over. Yeah, I think Big Bronson Reed's kind of dumb. Dirty Dominic fits to me.
Well, see, in NXT they had the Colossus Bronson Reed, so even then they had a nickname.
Well, there you go.
But that one, people were a little bit more accepting of that one, the Colossus or the Colossal. That was interchanged. The Rebel Heart, Johnny Gargano, yeah, even Tommaso Ciampa, he had a nickname, the Black Heart, or what was his? Well, he was the Heart and Soul of it. Well, anyway, we're off on a tangent here.
Yeah, let's get back to Liv Morgan.
Do these names all night.
You could.
Oh, we could play a. Oh, we don't have to do it now, but we could play like name the wrestler off of their nickname thing
We could.
segment
Yeah.
eventually, but we can circle back to that another day.
Yeah, we'll add it to the other segments that we don't ever do.
Yeah.
So Liv Morgan backstage. They played a recap just before of Liv Morgan and No Definition Rodriguez losing their titles. So Byron Saxon asks Liv what's her reaction from last week. Liv Morgan says No Definition is hurting, but she'll be back soon to take care of Ripley. So that means tonight Ripley is all hers. Rhea thinks she can do whatever she wants because she doesn't think someone can stop her. And I guess Liv Morgan beat Ripley at some point because she said, fun fact, I'm the last person to beat Rhea Ripley.
I guess it was either like during her title run or something. I don't know. I don't remember it.
All right. I don't either. So she says, maybe I'll get beat up. Maybe I won't. There's no way I'm backing down. And then she does this, ha, watch me. And I just want to punch her in the face repeatedly. So then Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville said something I didn't want to listen to. And then Ripley came out to say she took out No Definition Rodriguez last week and Liv Morgan is next. So what do you think of the backstage segment?
It was nothing. Boy, was Liv wrong. She was off on that one.
Yeah. So yeah, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Morgan, of course, comes out first. And she's doing her little, ha ha, watch me, fucking stupid theme music. And she gets to the ring, and Ripley immediately attacks. Ripley throws Liv Morgan's shoulder first into the barricade. Then she throws her into the steel post. Then she throws Morgan into the barricade again. Then she grabs Morgan's injured arm and slams it onto the barricade. And then Ripley grabs a chair, and Liv Morgan, in her infinite wisdom, rolled into the ring for safety. And then Ripley somehow manages to find hiding Liv Morgan. I don't know how. And she tosses the chair into the ring and delivers a running headbutt. Now, keep in mind, this whole time, Liv Morgan's screaming and crying, and she's just getting tossed around. She's getting her ass whooped. And eventually, Ripley then Pillmanizes Morgan's arm. Morgan is screaming and crying, like I said. And Ripley just looks at her. She goes, "You're dead to me." Ripley said that she warned her and to have fun in rehab. Then the crowd cheers Ripley.
You sure did.
They cheered the fuck out of Ripley. So then Ripley Pillmanizes Morgan's arm again. Ripley walks away talking shit. Then we fade out to Liv Morgan crying, regretting all the decisions she made that led her up to that point. It's a good thing she didn't back down to Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
So then we go to a commercial break, and after the commercial break, big bad Liv Morgan is sobbing like a child, holding her arm. Medical guy wants to see if she can move her arm, and he touches it lightly, and I can't do that again. And yeah, she can't move her arm. Looks like it's busted.
She learns what happens when you cross Rhea Ripley.
I just want to say, like, can you think of any other wrestler just sobbing and crying like that? Like, do you remember the NWO when they did the Jesse Jackson shit with Ric Flair?
Well, now we're talking about I don't know. No, I don't remember.
You don't remember Ric Flair? Okay. I'm just saying, if you want me to believe that she's a fighter and she wants to be a champion, just sobbing like a bitch isn't the way to do it, I guess. Anything to add?
Well, evidently, Rhea Ripley is. I'm sorry, Liv Morgan is real life hurt.
Oh,
So
right. Yeah.
that's why they did that segment. And that's why Rhea said, have fun in rehab because she was
Mhm.
off to rehab to rehab an injury. Just
And to
funny
be
enough,
clear,
she just came back like a week ago off of injury. So she got
which
injured
is
again,
another
I
reason
guess.
why we should get rid of Liv Morgan. She's made out of glass. It's kind of funny. It's almost like a tiny little girl shouldn't be thrown around like that.
You know what else is funny? More so funny than you're funny. Every partner that Raquel Rodriguez has gotten injured. It's almost as if this is like a Madden curse type deal because every tag team partner she has gotten injured. Everyone.
No, that wasn't as funny as mine. Mine was funnier.
Oh,
So
well, that's pretty funny.
you set yours up to be funnier than mine, but mine was
I don't even
comment
remember what yours
below
said.
to see whose was funnier.
I don't remember what yours said. But while we're there, we are closing in on 500 subs. We're trying to get there by SummerSlam. Probably not going to happen, but it can only happen if you push that button. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button while you're down there, comment below. Uh, since we're in SummerSlam, what is your favorite SummerSlam? And follow us on all the socials. We even have one of the X things. And yeah, that's
What's
it.
X?
That's the new name for Twitter.
Oh
They
yeah, right, okay.
renamed it to X. And I wanted to make sure to point that out on.
Okay.
I needed to make sure to get that in some way. I
Yeah,
needed to
that's all
work it
you.
in
Okay, so
because
to be
we're
clear,
a wrestling podcast, so there's only one way I could mention Twitter being called X now, and that's just to plug our socials. Go ahead.
so to be clear, the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan thing was awesome, but it was kind of one of those things where I don't like Rhea Ripley, but I really don't like Liv Morgan. So as a fan, I was torn. But yeah, just seeing Liv Morgan tossed around and screaming and crying was great. Maybe I'm a sadist.
Yeah, you don't like her for some reason,
No, I hate her.
but we already got the fans on the bandwagon of maybe they're gonna hold her out until Royal Rumble, and she comes back and wins the Royal Rumble. I know you'll love that.
I probably won't see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and call my shot now. I'm fairly certain. I don't like the Royal Rumble, so if I'm gonna watch one of them, it's gonna be the men's.
There you go.
So moving on, we have the Alpha Academy backstage. They congratulate the Viking Raiders for winning the Viking Rules match. But then Gable says, but nobody knows what a Viking Rules are. So how about we have an Academy Rules match? And it was at this point where I dropped my controller and I said, no! I don't want to fucking see any more of the Alpha Academy or any more of the goddamn Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders are 2-0 against Alpha Academy. Why are they even fucking pursuing them?
I don't know. This is not over. That's why, because the valiant baby faces haven't been triumphant over those dastardly, stinky, musty Viking Raiders.
So Maxine Dupree, of course, she needs some airtime. She says that she doesn't know why Valhalla is so obsessed with her, but she's been embarrassing her each and every week. Again, they're 0-2 against the Viking Raiders. Maxine then calls Valhalla sis and challenges her to a match, which I assure you I'm going to skip next week.
Completely nullifying the Alpha Academy match, the
Right, yeah,
Alpha Academy rules match.
yeah.
So yeah, she challenges her to a one-on-one match. Maxine Dupree makes her in-ring debut, much anticipated, I'm
Her
sure.
singles debut.
Yes, I encourage everybody to watch with the volume off. That will be the best way to view.
So then later on, the Viking Raiders, they have their own little.
All I'm just saying is, if you watch with the volume off, it will be your best viewing experience.
You know, she's not even cute enough to watch with the volume off.
Okay, next segment.
Okay. She's not.
Just next segment, you're going to say
terrible.
something. That's going to sound like you like men, so just go to the next segment.
It's going to sound like I like men because I think Maxine Dupree
Not that
looks
there's
like
anything
shit.
wrong with that, of course.
Maxine Dupree is hideous.
Next.
What you need is a real throbbing. Anyway.
Need a vascular.
She needs a little stubble. She doesn't have anything on that chin. Get a 5 o'clock shadow. And some arm hair. Never mind. Anyway, Valhalla. Yeah, Viking Raiders, they have their own little backstage segment later, and the actual tag team, they say some shit. I couldn't be fucked to listen to them. And then Valhalla accepts the challenge and then tells Maxine to pray to the gods.
Yep, so we have this match set up.
And then for some reason, the Viking Raiders and Gunther was in the same breath because this little segment was before the Gunther thing. Which he should be nowhere near this shit. It's bad enough that his opponents are like this. There needs to be at least 5 or 6 segments between the Viking Raiders and Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, make sure it's a good buffer.
Yeah. So then we get Ricochet and Logan Paul. And I said, no fucking thank you. I'm going to have to tag you back in.
All right. As I was saying before, so out comes Ricochet. And for some reason, well, I guess that reason being Vince, because Vince bad, Ricochet gets the mic for 5 minutes without any interruption. So
that's good. It's right up there with the Viking Raiders backstage segment just before Gunther.
No, it's not, because it's a lot longer than, a little 5-second Viking Raiders segment.
Did you hear Valhalla talk? It seemed like 5 minutes.
Well, Ricochet actually talks for 5 minutes, and he talks about basically the same thing he said, how he's trying to be the highlight of the night for the children or whatever he was saying.
Oh, God.
He challenges Logan Paul to a match at SummerSlam. By the way, Logan Paul is still not out there yet. As he challenges to Logan Paul to the match, Logan Paul comes into the ring, attacks Ricochet from behind with a forearm. He knocks him out. All the while he's streaming this on Instagram, that being Logan Paul. He starts berating the fans. Now, they cut this out, so you would have had to seen it live. But as he's berating the fans, he's calling fans ugly. For some reason, he picks on one guy. And again, they cut this out, so you can't see it on the replay or anything. But for some reason, he singles out this guy. He's like, I'm going to make you famous. And he said, get laid, you virgin. He's like, yeah, you right there. Get laid, you virgin. So that got bleeped out. And of course, that caused some backlash online. Oh, is he such toxic masculinity telling him to get laid? Everything's thought about getting laid. Some people are saving it. And, some people don't want to have sex because they're too busy playing their video games. And the bots are so good now. And they got the sex toys that jack you off better than a woman. And you don't have to listen to them talk to you and tell you to take out the trash. You can just turn it on and waka 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 and then go to sleep. What? Well, that took a turn.
Well, there's 2 types of people. There's people that want to have sex and there's people that can't. So that's all I got to say about that.
So yeah, he calls the guy a virgin. He accepts Ricochet's SummerSlam match. Ricochet he super kicks Logan Paul. The big thing here is that it was on the live stream because Logan Paul is streaming himself, and that was pretty much the segment. So the only takeaways were him calling the guy a virgin and him getting super kicked on live Instagram. But he was on live TV, so I don't know.
Okay.
Speaking of which, my son, I gotta tell you this story real quick. So my son, we're riding in the car, and he sees Keith Lee because I'm watching a video. He sees Keith Lee, and he's like, "Oh, is that Keith Lee?" And here I am thinking, "Oh, is he? He's listening to our show, so he's probably getting into wrestling now." And I'm so proud. And I was like, "Oh, how do you know Keith Lee?" He's like, "Oh, he makes food TikToks." And instantly I was like, "Oh."
Well, at least it wasn't. Oh, it was on this other podcast. It's really good. Not like
Yeah, at
yours.
least it wasn't that. Oh, I heard.
It's
Oh, I heard
completely
it on a
different
good
than yours. It's good.
Yeah, I heard it on a good podcast. But yeah, oh yeah, he was on this. He did an interview on this podcast. Oh, you're listening to that one, huh? But no, yeah, it was just funny. I thought, oh, we're getting him into wrestling because he's listening to the podcast, and then, oh no, he just does food TikToks.
Yeah, which that's probably a conversation you need to have with your son there.
He does like food.
So my problem with Ricochet and Logan Paul is this: Logan Paul's first singles match or second singles match was against Roman Reigns, which he stood toe to toe with him. Went up to the little the build up. He stood toe to toe with the bloodline. He knocked out Jey.
Yeah.
And then he feuded with Seth Rollins, the world heavyweight champion. He stood toe to toe with him as well. And now he's feuding with Ricochet. And every single fucking exchange that they've had, Ricochet has bested him. So you're telling me that Logan Paul can stand toe to toe with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, but Ricochet is just too much for him.
That does seem to be the. Well, we'll talk about it during our predictions. But there's a reason Ricochet keeps getting the one up on him, I'll just say.
Okay. I just think it's dumb.
Or maybe they're trying to take Ricochet to the next level. I don't know.
No. All right, so moving on, we have Shayna Baszler backstage. The lady asks how she feels about Ronda Rousey. Shayna is tired of Ronda's name being brought up in everything that Shayna does. At SummerSlam, she's fighting Ronda Rousey.
Oh. She's going to fight Ronda Rousey.
Her.
Fight. That's the key word there. Fight. I'm going to fight you. This is not going to be a wrestling match. I'm going to fight you.
Yes.
Wonder where that's been said.
Now, it's either that or it's the old wrestling thing where we're not wrestling, it's a fight. And the only difference is they wear jeans.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're close. We're close to. And you heard it here first if it does happen, by the way.
Yes, you did hear it here first.
At this point, there's two options because now it's starting to catch on in the community that maybe they're going to do like a UFC thing. That's what now people are thinking. Oh, maybe they do a UFC because, I mean, exactly what I said. Oh, because, Endeavor owns WWE now, so it'd be good publicity for them to do a UFC like a not a real fight, but a UFC fight that is still protected in the realm of WWE, where they're not like actually throwing punches.
Did the merger finalize?
Not yet. It's
Okay.
closing.
So they might be waiting to do that before they do UFC shit.
Maybe, but just don't be surprised when I say these things. That's why I always say I don't need sources. Or your sources there if it happens.
Well, what did happen was Damian Priest and Apollo Crews. And I thought, just as I was watching Apollo Crews come out, what if Apollo Crews and Bobby Lashley teamed up?
I don't think he's hurt business material.
Why?
I don't know.
I just
He
think he
doesn't
should.
do anything for me.
Apollo Crews?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not. He's not sports entertainment enough for me.
I just think him being the one that does all the bumping and stuff, and then Lashley being the powerhouse, I think it would work. Plus, they're both big black dudes.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't make it for me.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter because Priest wins easily with the South of Heaven.
within 2 minutes.
Yeah, Crews kind of gets shit on here, but yeah, that was Damian Priest and Apollo Crews.
Back to catering, you go, Apollo
Yes.
Crews.
So then we get Becky Lynch backstage. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nothing. I was just gonna say the plate, the plate of food is still warm for you because it was that quick.
Oh, your drink's still sitting here.
Yeah.
So yeah, Becky Lynch backstage. The lady asks how excited Becky is over beating Zoe Stark and getting another shot against Trish Stratus. Becky screams some shit. I don't know. Anything to add?
Nope.
All right.
I didn't even hear this segment.
Yeah, she's just walking out and she does her shit where she just, oh, I'm Irish. I gotta scream.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear it. So
okay. So now we get Gunther and Drew McIntyre coming face to face. All of Imperium is present. Then McIntyre comes out and he says he heard that Gunther challenged him last week, so let's go ahead and have our match right now. Gunther says he brought the Intercontinental Championship to a level it's never seen before. And McIntyre wants him to defend his title in front of the degenerate Tampa crowd? That's unacceptable. I can see why these people can... I need to work on my Austrian accent. Gunther says, I can see why these people connect with you, because just like them, you don't get anything done in life. You failed at Clash at the Castle. I humiliated you at WrestleMania, and I'm going to humiliate you at SummerSlam. McIntyre then says that he and Sheamus had a one-on-one match, and Gunther then slid his way in at their weakest to steal the title. Which, to me, that just shows that Gunther's chops can give you brain damage, because that was not a one-on-one fucking match.
Yeah, I don't remember it playing out that way at all.
Yeah. In fact, I remember Sheamus and McIntyre both teaming up against Gunther, and he still won. So fuck you, Drew. Let me at him. McIntyre says Gunther is going to find out why he has so many nicknames and why he'll be called the new Intercontinental Champion. So at this point, Gunther's tired of McIntyre's bullshit, and he throws down his microphone. And then Kaiser interrupts. He says, whatever you call yourself, how dare you speak to the ring general? Like that. McIntyre says Kaiser should be the leader of Imperium. He says, I like you. You should be the leader. And Kaiser, he's not easily swayed as Solo Sikoa is. He says, "I will not have you talk to the ring general like that."
Wait a
And
minute,
that's
you forgot
oh,
something
yeah, go ahead.
important. What did you say? You should be the leader of Imperium. Why was that?
Because he's
Well, he said,
what?
because that guy's boring, pointing at
Oh,
Gunther. So it's
which
just a
is I
callback to the
yeah,
internet
yeah,
talk.
which is really ironic because I think Drew McIntyre is boring.
He is.
Okay,
Well, I don't know. Maybe not boring.
I mean, I'm not
Just
gonna sit here and compare him to Gunther as far as boring because I know that's subjective and whatever. Um, but just overall, I think Drew McIntyre is boring. I think he's been there, done that. There's nothing really new to see with him.
I don't like the babyface Drew McIntyre that he is now. I
Oh, let's
like
go have pints.
the Scottish psychopath when he was with Dolph Ziggler. I think that was his best run. But yeah, he's like he's telling Gunther, "Oh, why don't you defend the title tonight?" And Gunther's like, "No, I'm not defending it here." And he says, "Come on, I dare you." Like, who says that? I dare you.
Yeah.
Like, like that's the kind of stuff that we don't need out of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his. So then Drew McIntyre and Kaiser have a match. And Corey Graves at one point does commentary as Kaiser. So that was a nice little treat.
And he was spot on with it. Well, not spot on.
He was spot on with the cadence.
Yeah, there was a moment where I was like, I had to rewind it. Well, I didn't rewind it because I didn't have, if I tried to rewind it, but I didn't have DVR or anything. But I'm like, who the hell is talking? What did I miss?
It kind of, I don't know. I thought it was one of those things where they were just doing it to entertain themselves as opposed to be commentators. It's weird. But it was good. So this is pretty much what you would expect from Drew McIntyre and Kaiser. McIntyre tosses Kaiser around like a rag doll, and he hits the Claymore for the win. I think Kaiser continues to look awesome, and I think he's probably one of the most underrated people on the roster right now.
Yeah, he's gonna eventually break out to a solo run, and I think he's gonna do well for himself.
Yeah,
It's just
he's
gonna
really
start
good.
getting wins.
So after McIntyre wins, Gunther hits McIntyre with a German suplex, and then Imperium start to beat down McIntyre. Cue Matt Riddle and his painted fingernails. Matt Riddle takes out Vinci and Kaiser. Then Gunther big boots Riddle and then immediately gives him a powerbomb. Gunther then chases McIntyre outside the ring. He delivers a big boot to McIntyre. And then Gunther starts clearing off the announce table to put McIntyre through it. And he goes for the powerbomb, but McIntyre reverses it. And then McIntyre powerbombs Gunther through the announce table. And while Gunther is writhing in pain, McIntyre is standing over Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, with his belt. And that was our segment.
Yeah. Looking forward to what they do during SummerSlam. I think that match is made official.
Yep. Now, taking my bias out of this, I think you haven't seen Gunther really in this position before. And as a heel, he probably should be in this position more. I just don't like. I don't like that it's Drew McIntyre that's getting like these firsts.
Well, there's one first he won't be getting, maybe.
No, he ain't getting it.
Yeah. So there is that.
We'll get to the predictions. But I mean, this was a fine segment. Gunther was good as always. McIntyre was all right. Still boring. Kaiser underrated. But yeah, this match should be awesome.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, so we have Ronda Rousey backstage. The lady asks what Ronda thinks about Shayna challenge her to a fight. Ronda says she's never challenged to a fight. She's always the fight, and she accepts. So then we get Finn Balor and Seth Rollins again. We're starting and ending this 3-hour clusterfuck with the goddamn Judgment Day. Balor says that Adam Pearce is MIA because of the hell the Judgment Day has been raising all over Raw. Without Rollins being there, the crowd just starts fucking singing his song. Then Balor offers to have Seth come out and they can sign the contract like gentlemen. Rollins actually makes a quick work of signing the contract. I thought for sure that he'd have like a 20-minute woe spot, just kind of in the middle. You know how he does? He comes out and he holds his arms out and the spotlight and all that shit. I thought for sure he'd do that. So Balor hesitates to sign the contract, and Rollins says that Balor just found out that he has zero chance of walking out as champion. And then he encourages the crowd to sing so we can have our woe spot. It's a little mini woe spot, but there it is. If Balor wins, his world title reign will be shorter than the Universal title reign. This is what Rollins says. Because Priest will drop the Money in Bank contract on him. Balor knows this because he'd do the same thing. Rollins says SummerSlam will be the end of the Judgment Day. Balor says Rollins thinks that he runs this place, but the Judgment Day runs this place. If I win, I lose. If I lose, I lose. I've been losing for 7 years. It's driving me insane. And it's all because of you, Seth. So at that point, the rest of the Judgment Day, they come out and surround the ring. Balor said that he's had 7 years, or hold on. Balor said he's had a 7-year itch, but he's going to make Rollins his 7-year bitch at SummerSlam. So at that point, Rollins starts swinging. Then Priest lays him out with the briefcase. Sami Zayn comes out to help with a chair. And then Zayn takes out everybody until Ripley takes his chair away. And then Sami Zayn is hit with the South of Heaven. He's dumped outside the ring, and then they bury a whole bunch of shit on him. And then the Judgment Day get back into the ring, and they all do their finishes on Seth Rollins. And then we fade out to the Judgment Day standing over a down Seth Rollins.
Great little way to go off of the air there. Why Priest didn't cash in at that moment, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but
like he just had 3 finishes. There's no way he's kicking out.
Yeah,
I guess because they had the agreement, like, as long as I get my first shot.
Yeah, I guess so, but that was his opportunity.
Right. It's always going to look good when a faction surrounds the ring on one person.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. Of course, Ripley had to be the one to neutralize Sammy. But yeah, that was Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
All right, moving on to Friday Night SmackDown. Yesterday, we start with main event Jey Uso. And he starts off just standing in the ring. And he says, main event Jey Uso is now in your city. As soon as he's done with that, Roman's music hits. Roman comes out with Solo and Heyman. Roman says, you know why you like the Usos, right? And he's talking to the crowd. It's because of me. The tribal chief is scheduled to appear, which means he opens the show. Why did they call you the right-hand man? Because of me. Why did they call you main event Jey Uso? Because of me. You came out here opening shows like you're the tribal chief now? Jey says he didn't want any of that. He doesn't want to be tribal chief. All he's done is support Roman. For the past 3 years, he's been his right-hand man, and he's done nothing but help Roman succeed. And he said he did that because he believed in Roman. But then Jey says Roman broke the family. He broke the bloodline, and he broke Jimmy. So now he has to do what he has to do. Roman says Jey's jealousy brought on Jimmy's injury. And the only reason Jey became the right-hand man is because Jimmy was hurt in the first place. And this was, I guess, a while back. And if Jimmy wasn't hurt, you wouldn't stand a chance. And you took that from him. You screwed your twin. He loves and respects me more than you. After SummerSlam, you're done. You're not a part of this legacy. And then you know what? Let's just, for argument's sake, let's say you do beat me. That means you take everything from me. But at the end of the day, I'll always be Roman Reigns, doing what I want to do. You can't beat me, Jey. What makes you think you can beat me? And the crowd starts chanting Uso. And Jey, who's been silent this whole time, he says, because I already beat you, Roman. He's got this little smug fucking smirk on his face. And Roman just sneers at him.
Yeah.
He says, I'm the only one that's pinned you, and I'm going to do it at SummerSlam. I'm going to beat Roman again. Or you again. Roman knows his name. So again, Roman sneers, and Solo and Heyman just stare. And later on, Jey runs into Grayson Waller in the back. Waller says Jey can come onto the Waller effect if he needs the rub, and he's probably going to lose to Roman Reigns. And Grayson Waller calls Jey Little Jey. It'll be Grayson Waller with Little Jey on the Waller effect. And then Jey knocks out Waller. And that was our opening segment.
Great opening segment. So many truth bombs. Roman is, I don't know, gaslighting, I guess is the word nowadays. Oh, he's gaslighting him. Jey Uso. Still setting up the potential of what you said.
Yep.
Jimmy turns on Jey and joins Roman.
Which I think is, if you're not going to beat Roman, I think that's the only logical way to do it. To me, there's only two options.
That'd be either Jimmy turns or Roman loses.
Yeah. Because I mean, if Solo or Heyman helps Roman win, then they just help him win. But obviously, if Jey's the champion, then you can go a whole different route. But if Jey is fucked by Jimmy, then you got that whole emotional story to go after that. And then Roman can go do whatever the fuck he does part-time.
Well, I think it's safe to say. So we got, after SummerSlam, we got Payback, and there's another preview, I think, like Over the Edge or something. That's like a dated reference. I don't know. Fastlane is what they call it nowadays. So you got those two pay-per-views. I don't think Roman Reigns shows up to either one of those.
He might do like a tag match in one of them. But yeah, you're right. He's not showing up to fucking Fastlane.
Yeah. So then the next time you really see Roman would be Survivor Series. Golly, this isn't the year flying by. We're already back at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that does give you some TV to cover if you do that. The Jimmy turn.
Mm-hmm.
I would just like it if it was my idea instead of yours. I'd like it a little better.
Oh, is that the only thing?
Yeah. Why don't we just say that was my idea and then we'll go forward.
It's like it's both of our ideas, but we'll just say it was mine.
Yeah.
It's really both of our ideas. We'll just put my name on it just for, because somebody's has to.
Yeah. And then as we get down, yeah, it's just my idea. You just helped me think of it.
Yeah, so next week we have SummerSlam, then it's September, it's Payback, and then October it's Fastlane, and then we're into Survivor Series.
Yeah. So Roman's probably gone until Survivor Series after this.
And Hulk Hogan got engaged.
Oh yeah, he did, to like a 40-year-old, and he is almost 70. So
yeah, good for him, robbing the cradle.
Is it? No, she's 40.
That's the joke.
Yeah, 40-year-old, you're not robbing the cradle.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's a joke.
But she is like half.
It's called satire.
You know, apparently she was his yoga instructor, so there's that too.
Lovely.
She must have been a fan of him as a kid. That's the only thing.
What's that?
She must have been a fan of him as a kid.
Or she's a fan of money now.
Oh, I guess that is also an option.
So moving on, we have Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. Start off with a handshake. Then they talk to each other in Spanish. Austin Theory sitting in the skybox, eating popcorn and watching the match. Escobar hits a dive on Rey and the match ends. Because I guess Rey is hurt. So Escobar wins and then he cries about it. So I don't know what the fuck happened. I just know Escobar dove and then they said Rey can't continue. I don't know if it was real. I don't know. I didn't see any reports about Rey being legitimately hurt. So that tells me that this is a storyline. So if you have in story, if you consciously make the effort, like we're gonna choose to have this fucking tournament, and at the very end of it, we're just gonna have one of the competitors just medically unable to compete.
Waste of time.
Waste of time. Nobody gives a shit about these two anyway.
I don't know if it was. So I've heard conflicting reports. So
okay,
I don't know. I've heard that it was not it wasn't a work. I've heard it was a work. I just saw like a few hours ago, Fightful said it was. No, this is Fightful. They said it was legit injury.
Okay.
I don't want to speculate, but it looked like it did indeed look like he may have concussed himself.
Okay. I mean, if it was legitimate, then okay, fine. But if not, then
See
it's
what?
Stupid.
I wouldn't think it was.
Although it's actually looking like it was more legitimate.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it was WWE. First of all, they're not that creative. Like
the stoppage thing. Well,
okay, stoppage after a commercial break. You just come back from commercial break. Rey can't continue the match.
That's why I thought it was on purpose because of how fucking stupid it was.
Yeah, because and if you listen back to it, he hits the dive. You know the commentary. They're all excited. So Michael Cole's screaming. So you think nothing of it, just think it's and Santos is celebrating, and then we come back, and then it's like, there was a development during the commercial break. So I thought it was real just because,
Okay.
one, they're not that creative to end the match during the commercial break like that. And if they are, then, that's even more power to them. But when's the last time they've ever done something like that? It's
Well,
always formulaic.
they had that stoppage for Finn Balor and Edge. Remember when he had his head busted open?
Yeah, but that was real.
Right. So I could see them doing like a fake thing like that. Oh, like remember when Edge or Finn got his head busted open and we stopped that? Well, what if we do that with Escobar and Ray, and then Ray can't continue? That'd be great. That's good shit.
See, yeah, I think we're giving them too much credit to have
Okay.
come up with something like that
All right.
for this spot.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. And then, the last thing I saw was it was a legit injury. So get well soon, Ray. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor or a performer, but I know concussions when I see them.
All right. Well, moving on, we have Bianca Belair backstage. Are you even remotely excited about Theory and Santos Escobar?
No, the air got sucked out when LA Knight
Okay.
lost.
Okay. So yeah, Bianca Belair backstage. The lady asked where Bianca's mindset is with her triple threat match looming. And Bianca says she's ready for anything because there are no advantages in triple threat matches. Then Green and Sonya Deville interrupt to say that they've been champions for 11 days and they don't understand why the division is still focused on Charlotte and Bianca, which our subscriber John seems to hold the same mindset. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, then they begin to mock Charlotte. And then Bianca, she challenges the tag team champions to a triple threat match. And cue Charlotte Flair, who just appears, and she wants a tag match. Bianca Belair says, I love you, but no, I don't want to be your partner. Charlotte says, good, I'm going to talk to Pierce and make it happen. And then Bianca chases after Charlotte, and the tag champs realize they done fucked up.
And I thought it was actually a good touch that Bianca actually said no.
Yeah. Like, no.
It so happened. Usually it's the whole can you coexist and they
Right.
just make the match. But this time Bianca was like, no, I don't want to tag with you.
Right.
But then they did it anyway. But I like the touch that she said no.
Well, she said no, but Charlotte like forced it.
Yeah. So I do like that touch that she said she actually did not want to do this. And then even after the match, she was like, that's why I didn't want to tag with you anyway.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So we have Hit Row. They said some shit. And then LA Knight interrupts. Crowd pops huge for a Knight. The yeah signs and chants are really noticeable at this point. Also, it doesn't help that they cut to the yeah signs. Knight says he doesn't know, he didn't know Uncle Phil became a rapper. He's addressing Top Dollar. And he says the girl in Hit Row is horny. And then he says he's going to drop Shanti on his head. So then we have LA Knight versus Shanti the Adonis. The Adonis. Knight makes short work of him. He takes out Top Dollar. He hits the People's Yabo in blunt force trauma for the win. Then we get a huge pop for that elbow. It was really like LA Knight.
Yeah.
And yeah, Night Star continues to rise and Hit Row continues to steal oxygen.
And another note here. There's only one man who can claim that he's number one, number two, and number four of the top five in merchandise sales over the last week. And who's game with it? With everybody saying L.A. Knight. Yeah. Yeah. So his merchandise is flying off the shelf.
All
Now,
right.
maybe that's helped because he just released his shirts last week. But yeah, he was number one, number three. No, I'm sorry, number one, number two, and number four of top sales. Usually, one, two, and three or one and two are held down by Cody and Roman,
Mm-hmm.
but he's made his way into the top three and being one and two of the three.
Good for him.
So yeah, the movement is in full effect.
They just need to capitalize on it.
Yeah, we'll see what they're gonna do.
Well, putting him in a well. So then we got Jay backstage. Adam Pearce confronts him. He says Grayson Waller wants him in a match after he assaulted him. Jay says okay. After that, we get Bobby Lashley in the Street Profits. And I was just reminded why I don't miss the Street Profits at all. Lashley says that they're both stars and should dress like stars, and then he brings out suits.
Brought out by a white woman.
I didn't
It's
notice
worth
that.
noting.
Is that worth noting?
It is.
Okay.
So you got a room full of black dudes, and a white woman brings out the. Now we're gonna run a train on that woman right there.
Okay.
We're gonna triple fuck that woman. Yeah.
All right. So then we get Bailey and Io backstage. Io wants to know why the fuck Bailey left her last week. Bailey blames the valet and Shotzi. Io would have had every right to hit Shotzi in the briefcase, or Io would have had every right to hit Bailey in the head with a briefcase after she blamed Shotzi for leaving her. And Shotzi leaves this weird little Son of Sam letter.
Yep. So we're continuing on with that feud thing.
Yep. So then, after we find the letter, Asuka interrupts. Asuka says she's facing two of the best, and Charlotte and Bianca. And if Io thinks about cashing in her Money in the Bank contract, Asuka will make her regret it forever. She also said a bunch of stuff in Japanese. Io then says she respects Asuka, but it doesn't matter who's winning her match because Io is leaving as champion. She also says some stuff in Japanese.
Can we just get the Asuka and Io match out already?
Right?
We don't need Charlotte and Bianca.
No.
Like, those two ladies can carry a match. Maybe, just so maybe, it'll compete for. Of course, if they got to have time, but it'll compete for match of the year.
I think so.
And then, and not in the Sam voice. It's match of the year. Geek.
All right, so we have LA Knight backstage, I think with Adam Pearce. He says it's bullshit that he's not at SummerSlam. And he says he wants to be in the Slim Jim Battle Royal.
That
Then
they had
Sheamus,
just announced a couple of seconds before.
yeah. So that's a good consolation prize. Then Sheamus interrupts. I said no thank you to that. I don't know what the fuck he said. Don't care. I imagine that he and LA Knight are going to wrestle each other next week, though.
Yeah, he was saying a lot of
Fellas
Irish
and yeah.
stuff. That he said that. What did he say? That smooth talking mullet or whatever he said. And yeah, he said LA Knight's full of catchphrases, while the Brawling Brutes They have a catchphrase, and it's banger after banger after banger, and they did that for the rest of the segment. But a match is made for momentum. LA Knight versus Sheamus for momentum in this going into this battle royal, which they didn't even announce like what it's for.
Yeah, it's just a Slim Jim Battle Royal.
Yeah, they didn't like. Oh, Slim Jim Battle Royal, and the winner gets a U.S. title shot or a Universal title shot. Which
Nope, just a
I
Battle
don't think
Royal.
they're gonna be doing that. So yeah, what are the stakes of this battle royal? It's got to have some kind of stakes.
You win or you lose.
And yeah, LA Knight is in this thing. He better damn win it. So there was a report during the middle of the week that, and I like to use the keywords that are in the report so like how you know. So it was WWE is scrambling to figure out a way to get LA Knight on the card of SummerSlam. That was the report that came out, and then now we got this. They were scrambling.
They should probably figure out how to do more than 2 storylines. I don't understand why you have like 200 fucking wrestlers in your company and you can only write a story for 2 of them.
Well, subtract that number by 1, and the only story here is about the bloodline.
Well, there's the bloodline, and then they have the Judgment Day.
Well, it's still 1.
Okay.
That's the Raw story. So
right.
You got Raw.
Your Raw story is Judgment Day. Your SmackDown story is the bloodline.
Yeah.
But they don't have, like, there's no little stories. There's no mid-card stories.
Well, they got little stories. Just not to the extent of, bloodline.
Yeah, because they only know how to write. It's just like when John Cena was champion. It was John Cena, and then everybody else had to get what they can get.
Well, I'm saying they got little mini stories.
They're not good. They're not fleshed out. They don't go anywhere. That's
another thing.
That's
getting
all of it.
In the story. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey were tag team, so there wasn't going to be any long-term build there.
And there should be.
Austin Theory, he's an afterthought.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, there's no long-term build other than Bloodline, and well, I would say really the Bloodline. Judgment Day hasn't really presented a bigger story, but there is a story. And even that story's kind of cooled off. The story was Damian Priest and Finn Balor breaking up.
Well, now it's the Judgment Day taking over Raw. They're basically being the NWO.
And they're succeeding. So far. Who's going to stop them? They need to get that title off of Seth Rollins. I think leaving out of SummerSlam, we really need to have that title on Judgment Day. Somewhere or another.
Okay. So then we have Grayson Waller backstage. The lady asks if he regrets provoking Jey Uso. Waller said Jey hit him with a cheap shot and he was just trying to be nice. Jey will be so distracted with the bloodline stuff that he won't beat Grayson Waller. Anything to add?
Nope.
All right. Karrion Kross versus Carl Anderson. I said no thank you to this.
Machine Gun Carl Anderson. Anyway, there's really a nothing match. Karrion Kross wins here. You get Scarlett distracting Carl Anderson by tripping up his foot, and then we get the cross hammer. into his new finisher, which he is calling the Final Prayer. That is basically it's an F5 into a DDT.
Okay.
So that's his new finisher. He hits it. 1, 2, 3. Goes for the post match beatdown. Out comes AJ Styles. And we're continuing that. See? Story.
So it's like, don't.
I'm saying,
Just don't.
is
Just
it good
don't.
or that's another thing if it's good or not, but they are, you know. But yeah, that's continuing.
Okay. How many finishers does Karrion Kross have now?
Uh, the cross hammer that's the elbow. The cross jacket, that's the sleeper, and then now the final prayer, which is the F5 DDT. So that's 3. Yeah,
Let's
it's got a
the
lot of
final
ways to
prayer
beat
looks more like a not an Alabama slam. The British Bulldogs running shoulder slam into a DDT.
you. Oh, okay.
F5 is a fireman's carry. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So we have Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller. We see a clip of Roman, Solo, and Heyman watching from the locker room. And the match starts. They both get in some offense. Jey ultimately gets the upper hand. And right when he's about to get going and hit Umaga's little turnbuckle move, Roman, Solo, and Heyman, they come out. Roman gets a chair and sits at the entrance ramp, like right next to the ring. Jey being distracted by Roman and everybody coming out leads to Waller taking the advantage and attacking him from behind. There's a spot where Grayson tries to go for the people's elbow and he fails. And Jey wins with a spear and an Uso splash. So in post-match, Solo attacks Jey, and he goes for the spike, but Jey counters to a super kick, which after that, Roman immediately hits the ring, and then he's hit with a spear. Jey tries to go for the Uso splash on Roman, but then Solo pushes him off the ropes. And then Solo hits Jey with a rock bottom. And he picks Jey up for the spike. Roman then turns it into a spear spike combo. So they're standing, Roman and Solo are standing tall over Jey, and the crowd are chanting Usos and you got pinned. And then you can see Roman just lose his mind. So he tells Solo to pick Jey back up, and they do the spear spike again. And then we just fade out with Roman standing over Jey Uso.
So this great segment, but I was trying to see because remember we said that Ray may or may not really have gotten hurt.
Yeah.
And I was still trying to figure it out. And I was using this segment to figure that out. Were they stalling for time? And it looks like they were. That's why Roman did the spike thing, the spike spear combo again. Because maybe someone told him, "Hey, we need more." Because there was like I don't know 7 minutes left for all this,
Okay.
and then they still ended 2 minutes early. So
Okay.
it seems like they were. And I was trying to figure that out. I was like, okay, did that match actually end early? Because if they timed this out to 9:00, obviously it was all planned. Unless they threw like LA Knight out there to cover.
Right.
Because I'll tell you that LA match. First of all, it wasn't even advertised, and it did seem like it was just thrown out there. Like I legit thought I was watching a replay when that was happening.
When he beat up Hit Row, or
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought I was watching a replay because they did release that segment that he did with Hit Row.
Right.
So I thought, oh, they're just playing it on the air. And then, yeah, as he's going down, I'm like, wait a minute, is this live? So it kind of seems like that could have been the part that they sent out there to cover time, which then means he wasn't on the card before then. But, or maybe he was just planned to do the segment where he gets added to the Battle Royal. But yeah, and they ended 2 minutes early, so
Okay.
it could be very well that Ray was really injured.
I
That was my takeaway from it.
I'll be honest with you, I wasn't that concerned with Ray to look up the last minutes of SmackDown to see if there's any inconsistencies with the
Well, I was
timing and stuff.
saying if Ray did get injured, that match was supposed to go longer.
Right. No, I know what
mean,
you're saying. It's just I would have never caught that. I would have never thought to, oh, well, they look.
Well, that cut a lot of time off. Where did they make that up?
It was 30 seconds early. Somebody really got hurt.
Yeah, he didn't look at the hard cam until 8:59. So
yeah. Yeah, Jay finally gets a taste of his own medicine. He's been kind of a Superman up until this point. So just have to see what happens. Are they doing a face-to-face next week as well?
they may be, but next week is no. I don't think so.
Okay.
Next week is that's the SmackDown before SummerSlam. So they're gonna have their. Well, they're not even doing the United States match, championship match. Golly, they're not doing that next week. They're doing it the week following SummerSlam. So I don't even know what they're doing next week to have that, pre-show that is the SmackDown before a major pay-per-view or a pay-per-view.
Okay. Well, speaking of our pay-per-view, let's do some predictions, shall we?
Prediction.
2023 SummerSlam. We are in Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field. And starting off our card, we have the Slim Jim Battle Royale, which, to my knowledge, LA Knight and Sheamus are the only two confirmed competitors. And we have no idea how many men are actually going to compete in it.
Yeah, we don't know who's competing in it, how many are competing in it. But I'm gonna go ahead and go on a limb and say it's gonna come down to either Sheamus or LA Knight, and that's why they're the only two.
Yeah.
Is that the only two known combatants?
I'm going to say that they give LA Knight the meaningless Battle Royal win. That'll shut the fans up.
Yeah, I'm going to go LA Knight as well. Right. I was thinking, they got Sheamus. Now, he was the one who kind of started the Yes movement because when he buried Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam, at WrestleMania, that kind of got the whole thing kickstarted. And if they're trying to mimic that, then it would make sense for Sheamus to eliminate LA Knight. And then that starts. But I'm just going to say it's LA Knight.
Okay. Moving on, we have Ricochet versus Logan Paul in a singles match.
Logan Paul finally gets his win. Singles win. I don't think he's done that yet, so. He beat The Miz.
Yeah. And didn't he beat Rollins?
No. So, yeah, he gets the win here.
Sure. Logan Paul wins. Whatever.
Sorry, Ricochet. You flip your ass back to the back of the line.
Maybe Braun Strowman will be healthy by then.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have Asuka versus Charlotte versus Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Championship in a triple threat.
I'll let you go first.
Well, I know that Asuka's not winning. I would say my prediction is either Charlotte or Bianca win, but Io cashes in.
So, who are you
Io.
picking there? That wasn't a real pick there.
Yeah, it was. Either Charlotte or Bianca win.
I know that's what we're picking. What are you talking about? Either one wins. That is what we're
No,
picking.
there's 3 women in the match.
The way I see it, you got a 33rd and a 3rd% chance
Okay,
of
fine.
getting the right answer.
Okay, fine.
And we know Charlotte's not winning, so we're gonna put that 33rd, her 33rd and 3rd% chance onto Charlotte Flair, so that gives her a
6%.
a 66 and a 3rd% chance of winning.
You gotta say percents. You gotta
Yeah.
pluralize those. Okay, Charlotte Flair wins. Io cashes in her contract.
Okay. I am going to pick. I'm thinking about it, y'all. I'm going to go with the dark horse of this whole thing. I'm going to say Asuka walks out as champion.
Okay.
I think we hold off on the EO cash in for now. And Asuka walks out as champion. That's where I'm going.
You know, I could also see Io failing at cashing in too because they seem to hate Judgment Day or not Damage Control. They're just a
I
joke.
thought she was going to fail, but they're really kind of cooling off on the whole Bailey EO turn thing.
Yeah.
So now I don't remember when Dakota Kai got hurt. That's when they stopped the whole they're going to break up thing. But it seems like they're kind of cooling the jets on that for now. So
I don't
maybe they're
know.
holding off.
They were really teasing it on Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, see, but since then they've cooled off. Bailey seems to be like
no,
really.
you're right there. It's just I don't think it was immediately after. I think their split actually intensified after Dakota got hurt.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what happens. All right, moving on. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. We know it's a fight, and it's a singles match. So far.
So I pick Ronda. I'm sorry, Shayna.
Okay. I'm picking Shayna as well. It's kind of a no-brainer, I would think.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be
Ronda's
Ronda's
last
exit.
match.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next, we got Seth frickin' Rollins and Finn Balor. Oh, Finn Balor doesn't have a little nickname. Is he the Demon? That's his nickname?
The Demon.
But that's only when he's the Demon. See?
I'm picking Finn Balor.
Picking Finn to walk out as champion?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a risk.
I am going to go Seth Rollins. I'm sorry, Seth frickin' Rollins. Sing along. And I'm going to hold off on still. Are we also predicting when the cash in is happening? I'm going to say this. It's not here. Well, you did. You picked the cash in already.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to do it with.
No, you already did it.
Well, I'm just saying we don't have to predict the cash in, no. But I think the only way that Priest cashes in is if Rollins wins.
But is he going to be vulnerable enough to be able to be cashed in on?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I just think. I mean, I would say Rollins probably or Finn is better off suited as champion right now. It's since the whole show is built around Judgment Day anyway.
Right. That's why I'm picking Finn, not because Finn's special. It's just because of how they're trying to portray the Judgment Day, and eventually they're going to need one of the major titles.
Yeah, and also Finn has nothing. Everybody else has something. Finn
Right.
has nothing.
And isn't he supposed to be the leader?
Yeah, he has nothing.
So moving on, we have Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. It's for the Intercontinental Championship and also a singles match.
I think we'd be in line here.
Yep.
Gunther, all around. We're just saw it. We're like 40 some odd days off of the Honky Tonk Man's record, so that countdown is still going. I don't think it ends with Drew McIntyre.
No. And if it does, I'll be really upset because Drew McIntyre does not deserve it.
He does not.
So we have Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar 3. And this appears to just be a plain old singles match so far. And I think we're going to be in line here with Cody Rhodes.
Yep. Cody Rhodes has to finish the story, or not finish the story. He has to finish this chapter that is Brock Lesnar. We'll see where he goes next.
Yep.
But I think he has to move forward by going through Brock Lesnar.
And he's going to win decisively this time. It's not going to be a fluke.
He also has like a documentary coming out that everybody's hyping up, so surely he wouldn't take a loss before that.
Surely.
I am looking forward to see it. It comes out this week on the Peacock, not sponsored.
All right.
But if you want to watch it on Peacock. Again, not sponsored.
But since we're not sponsored, let us tell you all the benefits on Peacock versus your other streaming services. 1, Peacock has a more diverse selection of.
Yeah.
All right.
Not only do you get the Cody Rhodes document, you get monthly documents. You get all the PLEs, premium live events, and NXT.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
What?
Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
The PLE.
Yeah, that's part of the WWE package.
Yeah, and you get the back catalog of WCW, NWO, or WCW, ECW, WWE, and just that alone makes up that $9.99 price or whatever the hell it is. But again, not sponsored.
Not sponsored. So moving on to our main event.
Peacock, wait a minute. Peacock, you get that free ad read right there. So there you go.
Pay us.
Somebody clip that and send it to Peacock and tell them put our check in the mail.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and accept cash or a check. You know what? We'll even take bearer bonds.
Yeah.
So our main event of the evening is Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. This is tribal combat for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and also recognition as Tribal Chief.
And if you missed it, tribal combat just means no DQ, anything goes.
Yes. I'm going to let you go first.
Well, I am going to say that Roman Reigns walks out of SummerSlam as champion.
I would have to say that you're right. I think Jey winning would be the perfect conclusion to Roman's little thing, his reign, but I don't think they're done yet.
Yeah, I think there's more story to tell, and that means Roman has to keep this title. It would be a shock, probably a good shock. Maybe it's something they can come back to at some point where Jey Uso does have a title run, but this is not the time.
No. Which is kind of sad because I wouldn't mind seeing Jey with the title.
Yeah, I think he gets a title run at some point, hopefully. But it'll be interesting to see how they get this done because it is such a story based thing. This is going to be the next chapter of the story. It will. This match is probably going to be such story driven over, wrestling. You're going to see the flips and the flops. You're going to see story. You're going to see all that selling. Roman Reigns going to be talking a lot of shit. Just laying out the whole match for you. How it's going to go.
Yeah, it's one of those. Roman's matches are one of those things where you just fast forward to the end.
I don't know. I like it all makes sense up till the end.
Whoa, you froze there.
Oh, I said I watched the whole Roman match because it's all a story.
Right.
That's like skipping to the end of Willy Wonka, and then you just see that the kid gets the chocolate factory, but you don't get the build up to him being dirt poor and having and his uncle. I just watched it the other day. That's why it's like fresh on the mind.
I just don't think you need to sit and watch Roman just walk around slowly in the ring for 20 minutes. You can just fast forward to the part where whatever happens, and then you can see the next story chapter, whatever.
Well, to each their own. Different cups.
Now Gunther, on the other hand, that's a real man.
Watch every second.
Watch every second. Watch every bead of sweat drip down that forehead.
But yes, that is our predictions for SummerSlam 2023, the biggest party of the summer.
Woo woo.
And again, card is, I'm sorry, not again, but I should say card is subject to change. So if they add something on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown that we didn't cover and we look like idiots, that is why. We record these before the final card is out. So sometimes they add matches after the fact, and then
But be sure to tune in on August 5th. See how we did. Talk about some SummerSlam.
Yeah, we will be doing a post-show review. Might as well letting you know that. We'll be live right after the show doing a review. Oh, well, somewhat right after the show. Turn the bell on for the notifications so you don't miss it if you want to come hang out live. If not, catch us on the replay. And if you're on the replay, type in team replay so we know you're in the replay. If you made it this far, type what? Closer? Yes,
Sure.
I forgot. I got to bring it back. Hashtag closer if you made it this far. Or not hashtag because that's going to go. It'll be weird if you put a hashtag. Just put closer in the description or in the comments if you made it this far. Anything?
No, I'm good.
All right. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close it all the way down. I'm bringing it home, baby. On that note, if you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments below. If you agree with anything, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on our other social medias. Catch up on our other videos in the library. Golly, I was doing so good.
Yeah.
But until next time, top guys out.